The Guardians of Willowbrook Forest. In the mystical Willowbrook Forest, where the trees stretch tall and proud, their branches forming a shimmering canopy of emerald leaves, lived a community of fairies. The forest was a breathtaking sight, a place of wonder where rivers flowed like liquid silver, waterfalls tumbled with a musical cadence, and every flower bloomed with vibrant colors. The air was filled with the songs of birds and the gentle hum of life. The fairies, known as the Guardians of Willowbrook, were small yet powerful beings who took great pride in caring for the forest. Among them were three close friends: Elara, whose wings sparkled like the stars and could command the winds; Faye, who had a deep connection with the plants and could make flowers bloom with a single touch; and Bramble, a mischievous yet kind-hearted fairy who could communicate with the animals. One sunny morning, as the fairies gathered by the glimmering falls, a waterfall that cascaded into a pool of sparkling blue water, Elara, Faye, and Bramble overheard a troubling conversation between the elder fairies. The forest was in danger. A drought had begun, and the water that sustained the trees, plants, and animals was slowly drying up. "We must work together to save Willowbrook," said the wise elder fairy Aurelia, her silver hair glinting in the sunlight. "If we don't, the forest will wither, and all the creatures that live here will suffer." Faye, ever the practical one, turned to her friends. "We need to act quickly. If the flowers and trees lose their water, they won't survive." Elara nodded, determination flashing in her eyes. "I can guide the winds to carry clouds full of rainwater from the mountains." Bramble, who had been quiet, suddenly jumped up with excitement. "I can talk to the animals." The beavers could help redirect the river to flow closer to the driest parts of the forest. The three friends immediately set to work. Elara flew high above the treetops, her wings glistening as she called upon the winds. She spun in circles, sending gusts to the distant mountains where dark rain clouds gathered. Meanwhile, Bramble scurried through the forest, speaking with the animals. The beavers agreed to build small dams to help reroute the water, while the birds flew to the driest parts of the forest to scout the areas most in need. Faye, her feet gently touching the ground, began to sing to the plants. Her voice was soft yet powerful, and with every note, flowers turned their petals toward her. She coaxed the roots to stretch deeper into the earth, where the last traces of water still lingered. But despite their efforts, the forest seemed to resist. The clouds refused to move quickly enough, and the beavers' work was slow. The fairies grew frustrated. "I'm doing my best, but the winds aren't strong enough," Elara sighed, her wings drooping. "The animals are helping, but it's not enough," Bramble said, his usual cheeriness fading. Faye, however, remained calm. "Maybe we've been going about this all wrong," she said. "We've been trying to fix everything on our own, but this forest isn't just ours. We need the help of every fairy and every creature here." Realizing the wisdom in her words, Elara and Bramble agreed. They flew back to the heart of Willowbrook and called for a gathering. Soon, all the fairies of the forest, along with animals of every kind, gathered beneath the towering willow tree. With everyone united, Elara and the elder fairies combined their powers to summon the strongest winds. The birds soared higher than ever, guiding the clouds to the thirsty trees. The animals worked together, moving stones and redirecting water to the driest areas of the forest. Even the flowers and plants reached out to each other, their roots intertwining to share what little water they had. Slowly, the forest came back to life. The clouds finally released their rain, and the rivers began to flow again. The trees, flowers, and animals all thrived once more, and Willowbrook was saved. As the fairies stood together, watching the rain nourish the land, Aurelia spoke softly, her voice filled with pride. "Today, we learned that no one creature can save the forest alone. It is only through kindness, teamwork, and respect for each other and for nature that we can truly thrive." The fairies smiled, their wings glistening in the rain. And from that day on, they understood that the beauty of Willowbrook was not just in its rivers or its flowers, but in the harmony of every living thing working together.